get intimate, if you will, with your breathing. And we'll start by just doing a real simple body scan, just like we did last week. Again, we're not trying to make anything magic happen. Closing your eyes if you wish, settling into a comfortable position. This will just take a couple of minutes, but I want you to really get the experience of exploring your own breathing. And I'm going to invite you to start simply by using this as a relaxation exercise, okay? So right there, realize it may not work that way, so just welcome that, whatever shows up. But maybe starting with the muscles around your face and the jaw. Okay, just noticing if there's any extra tightness there. By the way, you can always turn off your cameras if you just want to explore this on your own. And just letting that tension kind of melt away. Okay. And we'll just work our way through the body down to the neck and shoulders. Again, often our shoulders are up around our ears, and it may take a while to peel off the layers of tension here, but just let gravity take over, okay? Again, just letting that tense, stressed energy just drain through your body, down into the ground, softening the neck, softening the shoulders. Then working your way down through the arms. Oftentimes we have little areas of tension, tightness that we don't even know are there. It shows up a little bit of tightness in the upper arms. And by the way, feel free to move and shift to optimize your position, but just easing the muscles of the arms. And same thing in the chest. Again, we're not trying to make anything happen here, but just see if there's some extra tightness, maybe, you know, moving in from the neck and shoulders into the chest. Just allow the chest to breathe, and then softening into the abdomen. Okay, again, sometimes it gets tricky here because we end up trying to do things, but see if you can just let any tension in the abdomen soften. And as that happens, soften into the buttocks, into the legs, into those big muscles. Just let that release, that easing. Again, that tension just drain through gravity, through your body, down, out through the feet. Maybe just take a minute to notice this. Remember, the mind's going to be busy thinking, and see if you can just smile and label that. Yeah, thinking. Maybe just, okay, thank you, not now. And just attending to the body, and particularly around the abdomen. Okay, just gently breathing here. Usually when we're sitting, there's a component in the chest of the breath and the abdomen. So see if you can just allow the breath through the chest into the abdomen here. And what I'm going to ask you to do is tighten your abdomen here and notice what happens to the chest. Just tighten it. And you'll see your body automatically switches to just using entirely the chest. Okay, again, it's not about not using the chest. It's just notice the emphasis here. Okay, then back to softening the abdomen. Again, this is tricky because sometimes when we try to manipulate the breath like this, we can get wrapped up in it. So you can let go of this anytime. But again, softening into the abdomen, allowing the chest to do what it wants to do. It often does need to expand a little bit when we're sitting up. But just allowing that breath to go through into the abdomen, easing, softening the abdomen. Then just try tightening the abdomen just a teeny bit. And notice how your breathing shifts. Okay, almost always it immediately shifts to the chest. Let me maybe show you how this works. We'll do another brief exercise here. I'm going to ask you to be clenching your fists. So always with physical activities, the safety warning, if you have arthritis or clenching your fist, would be painful. You don't need to do this at all. But I'm going to ask you to just take your right hand in front of your face, looking at it, and really clench down. And almost feel the frustrations, the resentments, the resistance, all of the difficulties piling up, and just put it into that fist and just get really frustrated about this. And then notice your breathing. Okay, you can let go of the fist. But, in a group, we'd obviously be inviting input, but you probably found that your breathing either stopped altogether or it was super tight. Again, you were just, your whole body, that fist had just spread into your whole body and created this. So now try that exercise. Okay, again, making that fist, tightening it up, but really pay attention to your breathing. Let that fist be as tight as it wants. Let it represent, like I said, the irritations, frustrations, whatever's happening. But just calmly noticing what the chest is doing, noticing what the rest of the body is doing, softening the abdomen. And I think many people talk about suddenly that fist is over here. It's something that I'm a little bit separated from. And simply taking the time to notice how you're breathing can give you a little bit of space. In that case, it was with the fist. But I think that's a good model for how useful it is to do this kind of real simple breath work, okay, which is really just about noticing how you're breathing, thoughts and feelings. So same thing, just getting into a comfortable position, eyes open or closed. I don't think this will take more than a few minutes. And I'd invite you to start all over with that body scan, okay? And as you do that, now bring attention to the breath, okay? The abdomen, the chest, maybe straightening yourself up, and take a few of those deep breaths. Some people like to even do a count, like inhale on 4, inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale like on a 6 to really slow that exhalation down. And as you do those breaths, remember to go slow. If you do it too fast, you'll be hyperventilating. So wait for your body to tell you to take the next one and let that inhalation really spread through your body, feeling that energy. And then the release of the exhalation, long, slow exhalation, just letting that go through your head, your neck, your shoulders, chest, just allowing yourself to experience what it's like to take a normal, healthy breath. And then just see if you can gently return your breath to normal, but maintain your awareness on the chest, abdomen, and the thorax, okay? We're not trying to make anything happen. We're not trying to force things to happen. If it starts to tighten up again, feel free to shift, soften that. But just the normal breath now, the normal, unrestricted, easy breath, focusing on the abdomen and chest. And again, the mind will be wandering off, and that's what we're looking for. Okay, maybe feelings are here, the mind's busy. See if you can sense the freedom, not only the freedom of taking a full, easy breath, but the freedom of saying, not now. Okay, saying to your mind, hey, we'll set this aside. We're not going to ignore it. We're not going to stuff it down. We're just going to allow the mind to chitter chatter away and really bring our awareness to this simple act of a normal full breath. And always remember to check into your body. Sometimes things tighten up. We're trying to have an effect. We're trying to do it right. Let that type A stuff recede into the background. If the body's tightening up, that's curious. That's interesting. Allow it to be there and then soften it. And then just returning your awareness simply to the abdomen, the chest. How are they doing? And you're welcome to add visualizations to this, perhaps visualizing with the inhalation, just breathing in calm, or the energy from the earth. With the exhalation, again, that downward motion, that softening, just breathing out ease. The teacher Thich Nhat Hanh says, you can even use a tiny poem like breathing in, I calm my breath. Breathing out, I smile. The present moment is a wonderful moment. And you have a choice point here too. We're just working with the body, setting the mind, feelings aside. But if things are entering here, if there's a lot of thinking, maybe some difficult emotions, remember you can go back to what we talked about at first, like the self-compassion break, putting a hand over your chest, offering yourself some validation. Yeah, this is tough. And then kindness to yourself, but I'm here for me. I mean, this allows you to open up into so many different ways of simply caring for yourself for even just a few moments. And it all starts with noticing how you're breathing. So I'm going to end that practice, their thumb just lightly touching each other, and see how they work. But there's some variations on that simple, normal, deep breath, like the 5-finger breathing. I put a link to that, and this is something I do often when I'm routinely nervous. I have stage fright, just getting ready to give a talk. You just, as you do the inhalation, you trace one finger up, and the exhalation, trace it down, and just work your way through the 5 fingers. It just, again, it What we're trying to do is notice what the body's doing, calm the body, acknowledge the nervousness, but at the same time, give the brain some stuff to do so it has less bandwidth to sit there and just ruminate on whatever it is you're feeling about breathing. But he calls this the reverse breath awareness. When you think about it, when you're breathing, we naturally consider the breath cycle as starts with the inhalation and ends with the exhalation. That's just that when you count your breath or all the different things you do. What he suggests is mentally reversing that. So the exhalation becomes the beginning. All right. And again, like I said, this is in the handout, but this is a really interesting exercise to try, such that what you almost need to do is use a label or a phrase. So when I do this, as I exhale, I'll say, as I exhale, I'm starting my breath. And then with the inhalation, I am ending my breath. Starting my breath, I'm ending my breath. Try that a little bit on your own. Again, the idea of resetting yourself so the exhalation becomes the beginning. Starting my breath, and ending my breath with the inhale. And the other thing that I think is really worth talking about is the 4-7-8 breath. Okay, this is another thing that Dr. Andrew Weil really favors. I have to be honest, I'm not sure anyone's done research in particular on this, but it certainly seems to be well accepted. So much so, I think, if you guys watch that TV show Ted Lasso, I think that was one of the things his therapist offered when he was having a panic attack. And this is simply the idea of counting and holding. So the 4-7-8 breath, and again, there's links for audio for this on the handout, but you would inhale, counting to a 4, 2, 3, 4, then holding it for a 7, and then a long, slow exhale, counting to 8. So I'll model it. Inhaling 3, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then exhale slowly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, monitor yourself for hyperventilating, but just try that a few times. He suggests not doing more than 4 in a row at first, because it is pretty common to feel a little bit of dizziness. But remember what we talked about at the beginning. As you do it, use that inhalation as a way to see what your abdomen's doing, see what your chest is doing, neck, shoulders, posture. Hold it a little bit, settle there, and then long, slow release, just letting that slow release, which triggers the parasympathetic nervous system, part of the relaxation response, that kind of stuff. And there's a final variation of the 4-7-8 breath that comes from the Anxiety and Phobia Workbook, which is a real good book if you unfortunately are gifted with things like that, like I've been. I found it useful. But they call it the calming breath. And again, there's a link for an audio version of that. But what that involves is something like the 4-7-8 breath. Okay, big deep inhalation, holding, and slow release, but then adding 2 normal healthy breaths through it. Okay, 2 breaths where you aren't really trying to adjust anything. And that's an interesting combination because, first of all, it makes it less likely for you to hyperventilate. And 2, it really does take a lot of awareness, a lot of focus to begin to do that. And again, for me, I hate to raise expectations, but there's times when I find that is really helpful in the middle of the night when my mind's busy enough that I can't sleep. And just counting the 1, and then the 2 of the normal breath, and then the full counting with the 4-7-8 breath, then back to 1 and 2. And again, you're welcome to try that. I feel like I'm getting